After that Mortal Kombat 1 stress test, we've all been having a little bit of withdrawals trying to get some more information out of this game, and thankfully the NetherRealm gods have answered. We just got a ton of details for the story in this game about all the characters that have been revealed so far, and as well a tease about who the real villain might be. Before we jump into this though, if you're excited for Mortal Kombat 1, if you cannot wait to get your hands on this game and see more about what the story is gonna be like, scroll down, hit the thumbs up button, share your hype with me. Let's get 3,000 likes for this video. And with that being said, let's jump into this now. So a bunch of people noticed late last night that the Mortal Kombat website had finally been updated. You see, now if you go to mortalkombat.com and you head to the game info section, you can actually see, first of all, brand new character renders for all of our revealed characters so far, as well as official character bios. Some of them are pretty straightforward and very much similar to how their origins were in the past. Like Johnny Cage is still Johnny Cage, you know, a failing acting star trying to stay relevant, so he helps join the fight against the enemies with Liu Kang. But of course, this time around, this game has a lot of new origin stories for our main characters in Mortal Kombat 1, so let's go over some of the big ones of note, starting off with Scorpion. And right away it mentions that Scorpion is a revered Lin Kuei warrior, so he's not a part of the Shirai Ryu, and that actually makes me worried. I wonder if the Shirai Ryu even exists in this timeline. But anyways, his description reads as follows. Like his cherished father, Scorpion is dedicated to the Lin Kuei and its defense of Earthrealm. When his father died, Scorpion was bereft, though he took pride in knowing that his brother Sub-Zero would succeed their father as the Lin Kuei's Grand Master. But Sub-Zero's unprecedented moves to cast off the Lin Kuei's traditional duties have frozen Scorpion's enthusiasm. He fears that he may one day have to battle his brother for control of the Lin Kuei's legacy. This is so interesting. So once again, I don't know what this means for the existence of the Shirai Ryu, but what this might mean is that Scorpion and Sub-Zero might eventually butt heads because of the way that Sub-Zero is leading the Lin Kuei now. And who knows, if things go down a wrong path and Scorpion ends up having to fight Sub-Zero, he may end up leaving the Lin Kuei and go off to start the Shirai Ryu. But what I also wonder is if in this universe, Scorpion is canonically Sub-Zero's brother, is he Kuai Liang? Because we know within the in-game dialogue that Sub-Zero in this game is indeed Bi-Han. Who knows? We're gonna have to wait and see. We're gonna find out a lot within the story of this game, and I'm really excited to check it out. I'd also be really excited if you subscribe to the channel right now and maybe turn on the notifications so you can be immediately notified when the next Mortal Kombat 1 video goes live. And let's move on to Sub-Zero now, because obviously there's some conflict here, and it's mentioned, of course, that he is the Grandmaster of the Lin Kuei. As the Lin Kuei's Grandmaster, Sub-Zero leads his ancient warrior clan in the defense of Earthrealm from external threats. For centuries, it has been their solemn task. But Earthrealm hasn't been threatened in generations, and Sub-Zero sees no point in limiting his clan to preparing for dangers that may never come. Under his leadership, the Lin Kuei will come out of the shadows and fight for its place as one of Earthrealm's greatest nations. That's an interesting motivation. If that's sort of the conflict there that Scorpion is not a fan of, I'm really intrigued to see how that plays out, because it's one of those things where you might be able to understand where Sub-Zero is coming from. We also have Kenshi Takahashi back in this game looking sick as ever. Definitely the hardest character to learn in Mortal Kombat 1. I really want a practice mode so I can try some of the crazy combos you can perform with him. But his character bio reads as follows. Once one of ancient Japan's most honored families, the Takahashis were decimated in battle. They lost everything, including the emblem of their power, the revered sword, Sento. Those who survived joined the Bakudo, a predecessor of the Yakuza, for its protection. 5 centuries later, Kenshi is raised on the stories of his ancient family's exploits. Detesting his corrupt Yakuza life, he pines to free the Takahashis from the Yakuza's grasp and restore their name. But for his family to follow him, Kenshi must first fight to prove that he can lead. His first battle is to find and retrieve Sento, and we actually saw a little bit of that in the gameplay trailer with Kenshi at Johnny Cage's mansion, as it's one of Johnny Cage's little displays. I'm assuming he bought it like an auction. He has Sento in his possession, and I think that's a fun way to kind of bring Johnny Cage into the fold while also creating a very interesting story for Kenshi. And this one here is interesting. We know now that Raiden is very drastically changed in Mortal Kombat 1 from what he has been known to be in the previous games. He was always the Thunder God. But now in the MK1 timeline, Liu Kang is the Fire God, and he is sort of controlling things. He is trying to create his own universe here, and with that, Raiden is now Earthrealm's champion. And his character bio reads as follows. In the village of Fengzhen, Raiden was known for his kindness and his charity. He was happy to spend his days tending to the fields as well as to his friends and family. So when he's asked to leave Fengzhen and become one of Earthrealm's champions, Raiden hesitates, but soon he realizes that to best serve his village, he must join them. As threats to Earthrealm mount, Raiden must mature into the great warrior that Liu Kang knows he can be. And this sounds awesome to me. You know, roles reversed this time around. Instead of it being Raiden trying to mentor Liu Kang, now it's Liu Kang trying to mentor Raiden. And I'm just personally glad that Raiden in this game has his powers still. He may not be the Thunder God, but he still has those crazy electricity powers. And this is one that I know is going to excite a lot of people and get a lot of people very interested in the story if you weren't already for Mortal Kombat 1, because Mileena has a lot going on in this game. This time around, Mileena is not a clone to Kitana. Her bio reads as follows. Born mere seconds ahead of her twin sister, Mileena is the rightful heir to the Outworld's throne. But even so, there are those who distrust Mileena's impulsiveness. They whisper that Kitana, with her steadier hand, should replace Mileena as heir to the throne. As Mileena fights for legitimacy, she hides a horrible secret. She is infected with a dreaded and lethal Tarkat disease. Were her affliction found out, Mileena would be forced into battle to save her throne. And yeah, we saw glimpses of this actually in the gameplay trailer where you could see Mileena's teeth start to grow in, and I guess she has some sort of Tarkatan disease. That makes me wonder if the Tarkatans even exist, how all that's gonna work. I have no idea. Does Baraka exist within Mortal Kombat 1's new timeline? Like, can a Tarkatan just bite you and then now you're turning into a Tarkatan? How does this disease work? But it's also mentioned that it's a dreaded and lethal Tarkat disease. So could this lead potentially to Mileena's death? I don't think the fans online are going to be happy about that one. Either way, I'm really looking forward to seeing how the tension's going to rise between Mileena and Kitana, because we saw in those intro dialogues that she clearly doesn't trust Kitana at all, even though Kitana seemingly just wants to protect her sister. And I don't really need to read you Kitana's character bio because it's pretty much exactly that. It's just saying that Kitana doesn't actually want to be the heir to the throne. She's just preparing for whenever it is her time, but she's not trying to steal it from Mileena. This one might be a bit of a sad part of the story because Kitana's just trying to protect Mileena, but because Mileena's so untrusting and potentially insecure due to her Tarkat disease, she's just so on guard and thinks that Kitana would want to steal the throne from her. And then we have Kung Lao, who seemingly is sidelined once again and is not Earthrealm's champion once again. He's described as a youthful warrior with dreams of glory, and his character bio reads, born and raised in the village of Fengzhen, Kung Lao spends his life toiling in the fields. It has been an honorable life, if not a glorious one. Kung Lao's greatest fear is that his life will amount to nothing. He prays fervently that it would be called to do something bigger. His prayers are answered when he is asked to join the champions of the Earthrealm. As a warrior fighting for its honor, Kung Lao knows that his victories will be long remembered. And yeah, it kind of sounds like, again, that Kung Lao is just going to be that guy. Not like, you know, that guy, like he's him. No, like he's just going to be that guy over there. I'm kind of bummed out, I'm not going to lie. You know, I do wish that Kung Lao would sound like he's going to play a bigger role, but who knows? Maybe I'm going to be proven wrong when I play the story. Maybe Kung Lao is going to do a lot. And finally, I wanted to save the best for last because this one includes a tease that gets me so incredibly hyped if my theories end up being correct. That's right, let's talk about now the Fire God Liu Kang, the guy who's orchestrating everything, the guy who created this brand new timeline after the events of Mortal Kombat 11. It says here, having won control of the hourglass, Liu Kang restarted history. He neutralized the threats and dangers that had come before, crafting a new era in which all beings would have the opportunity to find peace. But that peace is now threatened by an enemy that Liu Kang could never have anticipated. It will take all of his wisdom and experience to save not only Earthrealm, but all of reality. Oh man, that sounds awesome. And it also sort of deconfirms for anybody out there the thought that Shang Tsung was going to be the main villain of this game. I think NetherRealm had mentioned that there's going to be more than just Shang Tsung when it comes to the threats that we're going to face. Clearly, Shang Tsung's going to be one of those enemies, but the greater threat, the main villain, is yet to be revealed. And them saying that it's a villain that Liu Kang might have never anticipated, to me, means it's a villain that he's actually never really faced off against. And there's really only 2 games in which Liu Kang kind of wasn't there to be able to see who the villain was. You know, in Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, Liu Kang was killed, and then in the following game, he was a zombie as well as in Armageddon. I'm going to assume that Liu Kang doesn't really remember much of his time as a zombie, so there are 2 massive villains that we see during those next two games where Liu Kang is not around and not aware of who they are. Those two villains being Onaga and Blaze. And for me, I have been wanting to see Onaga return for so long. When I was a little kid, the first Mortal Kombat games that I was ever introduced to were the 3D era games. You know, Deadly Alliance, Deception, and Armageddon. And seeing Onaga, this massive dragon dude, as the main villain of one of those games had me so hyped. I want to see him return. I can only imagine what his updated design could be like, how menacing he could be, and I feel like it would make a lot of 3D era fans happy. Because we know Liu Kang could anticipate the return of Shang Tsung. I mean, he beats the crap out of him in the actual trailer, the reveal trailer for Mortal Kombat 1. And Shao Kahn has been sort of the main villain of several Mortal Kombat games, similar, like I said, to Shang Tsung. So what is a villain that he could never anticipate? Well, it has to be a villain that he's never really run into. And that could be something original. It could be something brand new created just for this game, just like how they did Kronika and Mortal Kombat 11. So we'll have to wait and see if that ends up being the case. But I feel like it's gonna be Onaga. I don't know. I just have a feeling. My fingers are crossed at the very least, because that would be so exciting to see. But with that being said, now I want to kick it to you guys. Sound off with your thoughts in the comments section below. What do you think about all these character bios and all these story details that we got from them? Sound off with everything you have to say in the comments. And of course, if you enjoyed today's video, hit that thumbs up button. I've been Caboose, and I'll see you guys later.